All right, everybody, it's time for another episode of This, That,
and the other.
And on today's episode, we had a guest who's played in a bunch of bands. He told us about his ventures in Warped Tour. There's an inside joke running throughout the entire interview because when I first met him, I, for some reason, thought he was a photographer. So you'll hear me reference that several times throughout the interview because it turns out he's not a photographer or
at all.
Actually, come to find out, he might be. He could be. He could be a secret photographer. Because he does reference his photography several times throughout. But we interviewed our buddy Grant Wallace. It was a lot of fun. Thanks to Ian and his wife for getting us that guest. It was a lot of fun. So I appreciate that.
Shout out Shannon for pulling this one together for us.
But other than that, before we get into it, I guess we're just getting ready for this weekend. We got some plans. We're going to go out. We're going to play Topgolf this weekend. And then the following weekend, I'm finally going to go see ICP. So when we get back from that, there's going to be a full episode recap on that. And I can't fucking wait for that.
Whoop, whoop.
But anyways.
But also, as we're going to see ICP, we are going to make a pit stop, my friend.
Well, are we going to do it on the way there or on the way back?
It doesn't matter, but we're stopping at one of my favorite places in the world, Buc-ee's.
Yeah, see, the thing is, like, I like Buc-ee's. I don't mind Buc-ee's, but I don't know. I feel like going there once or twice, it was enough for me. It's like, all right, it's cool, but like, anytime you go in there, it takes like an hour of your time. It's like, I don't know, man.
I was talking to some coworkers today about Buc-ee's. So when we go to this Buc-ee's, that means I think I have officially hit every Buc-ee's in the Southeast now. I think I've gone to all. I think there's only 3 that I know of.
I think so.
In the Southeast.
I was trying to, on my way up to Asheville, I was trying to hit one, but there is one kind of on the way, but it's out of the way. It would have added like an hour to my trip, and I just wasn't feeling it. But I'd hit up 7-Eleven. I hit up like 3 different 7-Elevens because we don't have that in Georgia. But for some reason, as soon as you cross over to South Carolina, there's 7-Elevens everywhere. Like every single exit has a fucking 7-Eleven. It's wild.
Do they sell Faygo at 7-Eleven?
No, I just went in for the Slurpees. Faygo is really fucking hard to find in the South. Like every now and then I'll find like a random like hood ass gas station that has them. And there's this place over by me.
7-Eleven would.
There's only 2 places I've seen in my lifetime that sell Faygo, and that's this guy. I sent you a picture of it the other day when I found the orange cream, and then that place right by my house called Rose's Express. Those are the only 2 places I've ever seen sell it. I know.
Wait, you have a Rose's Express?
Yeah, that's what it's called, Rose's Express. And I thought it was
No, go ahead. Finish up.
Originally, when I looked it up, I thought it was just going to be, like a florist shop. I didn't know what the fuck Rose's Express was, but that's what it's like, a Big Lots.
So we in Maryland, growing up, we have Rose's. Okay. And there's actually one like it's the next town over from where my dad lives. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, next town over, in Chestertown, and that's where I used to go back in the day. For some reason, I don't know why, but they always had like the newest Star Wars action figures back in the day. Like back when I think it was like the second trilogy back in those days.
Oh, like they would episode 1 era?
Yeah. Okay. So like they always had the newest toys. I don't know why.
This one has toys. They don't have like good quality toys, but
I've never
toys.
Well, when you said Express, that's why it was kind of like a Rose's Express. Like
maybe so like up in Maryland, are they like very big stores? Because this one's a pretty small store.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe because it's smaller. Because the normal Rose's like we used to go to, it was like very like Kmart-y kind of vibe.
Yeah, no, this one's way smaller than that.
Okay.
Way smaller. It does have clothes and it does have like toiletries and fucking soda and shit like that, but it's very compact, like very small aisles and shit.
Oh, okay.
It gives dollar store vibes, and everything in there is pretty fucking cheap too, to be honest.
But, yeah, I mean that's kind of how Rose's was. Like I don't want to say it was like a discount store, but it was very like might be a little cheaper than like Walmart kind of thing. Yeah. Like
they definitely don't have the variety of other places, No.
Like, but they had like a really good. It's funny that it's called Rose's.
You can't find anywhere else. Like they also have the Mr. Frosty soda and like all types of weird candies that you can't find anywhere else. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was I gonna say? I forgot.
I don't know,
It
but
must
dude,
not have been important.
I'm really fucking hyped to go see ICP again.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Really, really stoked. And I hate that you've gotten me so into this
Yeah,
shit.
dude, they're fucking awesome.
Oh my god, it's so fucking good in concert, dude. Like, they are fucking amazing in concert. And not only to mention, like, seeing him at Masquerade was amazing, but getting to see them where we're gonna be able to see him at this like random I guess it's random to us because we don't live in Birmingham.
Well, no, the thing is, like, I think it's weird because I think it's a small venue, but it's also not, because like I showed you the site map and the venue looks relatively small, but they also have huge names come through there. Like if you if you Google them and you just click on photos, there's pictures of like the Offspring playing there and Killswitch Engage just played there and shit. Like they get big name bands to play there, but it doesn't look like a huge I don't know. We'll see when we get there. Maybe it is. Maybe it does have like a huge fucking back lot or something like that. I don't fucking know. I assume that the concert is outside. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Oh man, that's gonna be if it's outside, it's just gonna be insane.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking wild, dude.
Oh, it's gonna be sick. I'm so hyped. And not like I texted you the other day, dude. Like I'm so excited to experience this with you. But because experience it with Mark is one thing, but like you as an actual fan who has never seen ICP before, like I am fucking hyped.
And that's what it is. Like it took me forever to get into them, but like no, like I genuinely enjoy them. As some people might give me shit and think it's corny, but like no, I think their music's fucking dope. It's fun. It's a good time.
I mean, bro, haven't we been catching shit for the music we listen to our entire life?
Dude, yeah, but there's a lot of elements to this show that just make it crazy. So for us, we have to travel out of town. That's one element to it. Second off, it's on Friday the 13th. Which is a whole nother element to it.
Hell yeah.
And then it's at a fucking brewery. So it's Friday the 13th in a different state at a fucking brewery, seeing Insane Clown Posse. I mean, dude, this has the potential to have a really good fucking story to tell afterwards.
I don't even think I don't even think we should say it has potential. I straight up think it is going to be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I think we are going to have a fucking great time. I think it's going to be a great show. And I'm hyped, dude.
I'm stoked. I also don't know who the openers are, and I don't know if they're doing JCW. I thought they were, but the thing is, they're doing it just like they did on the last tour from last month, where the openers and the JCW thing isn't announced until like the tour starts. Because when I originally bought those tickets for the Atlanta show, there were no openers like attached to it at all. So I thought it was just going to be them playing. But then like a week before they started tour, that's when they announced all the openers and shit.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I mean, either way, if they have openers, if they have JCW, that is going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
that will make it so much better. But even if it's just the regulars or the openers that we had, it's still, you're in for a treat. I'll put it that way.
People who like regularly tune into our show are like start skipping the opening monologue, because we've talked about ICP literally fucking 17 times on this show already.
And ask me if I give a shit. If you skip this, I'm not sorry. This is what this show is about. You get to sit through and hear me and Joey talking about our lives and the things that we enjoy. So if you don't like it, I'm sorry. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. No, I'm not. Because this is our show and we talk about what we want to talk about. And things that we find interesting and things that we enjoy.
And on top of that, Money in the Bank's this weekend. So we got Top Golf this weekend. We got Money in the Bank this weekend. I turned
your birthday Friday.
Yeah, I turned 35.
Fucking Money in the
Friday.
Bank Saturday. Yeah, bro. It's gonna be a weekend.
Yeah, and 35 just sounds so fucking
and
old.
Not to mention that. So, and we're gonna derail for a split second. We promise we won't get into wrestling too much right now. But the freaking AAA merger thing is happening Friday night as well.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. So I think this weekend it's gonna be a good weekend. It's gonna be a damn good weekend, and then into next weekend should be a fun few days here coming up for us.
Absolutely, man. All right. Well, anyways, let's get into the interview with Grant, because we recorded it a couple days ago, and now I just keep thinking about video games, so I'm trying to get off of here. So,
thank you everybody for listening.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the podcast Mr. Grant Wallace. He's not a photographer, but he is a business owner, longtime Atlanta resident, currently a father now. He used to play in some bands. Let's get to know him. How you doing, Grant?
All right. That sounded very accurate. I am not a photographer. I am all of the other things. So I'm doing great. Thank you.
So how's fatherhood been treating you? Are you relatively new to it, or how old is your kid now?
All right. Yeah, I'm 2.5 years into it, and
Okay, cool. Hell yeah.
we got a little girl on the way in August. So I'm
Nice. Hell yeah.
I'm very excited, and it's been great. Today was, oof, just one of those days where
Hmm.
he told me I just got this like really cool electric organ from the 70s, and
Nice.
I was playing on it, and he came up and he said, "Daddy, no, go away." So that was
So it's his now.
I was trying to like play with him, and he's just like, I'm
Nah.
not having it. And then, I mean, that was just one example of just him being a little brat,
Well,
but
I'll tell you, kids.
always, always entertaining.
Yeah, I'll tell you, kids are exciting pretty much any day that ends with the letter Y. You're in for a fucking, you're in for something fun.
Yeah, we had a great weekend though. We went to Florida and did the beach thing. He freaking loved it.
Now that's something you got to get used to. Now traveling with young kids, are you still cutting your teeth on it? Is he well versed as a 2-year-old? Because I got a 9-year-old son and 3-year-old twin girls, and anything longer than 45 minutes can be a fucking nightmare.
Boy, no, I'm not. You're gonna have to teach me some things, but drive there, fantastic. Drive back,
Yeah,
nightmare.
yeah,
So,
dude.
um, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. I'm just gonna roll with the punches, and thank God.
Where
Yeah.
where'd you guys go in Florida?
Cape San Blas, and so it's like I don't know. It's just a little, not even a town really. I suppose it's just a stretch of land. It's
Okay.
peninsula, right? Peninsula. I haven't used that
Okay.
word since like high school.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's just one lane road, right? But the beach is cool. You could do fires at night on the beach, so that was sweet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We've done it a lot, so you kind of get it is what it is.
No,
But
I
it's
get what you're saying with Peninsula because I was doing trivia today at lunch. We went to the sports bar and they had the Chive trivia on, and it had a picture of like a landmass, and then it was like, "Is this a mountain, a plain, a plateau?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't know what the fuck it is. It's just grass, you know." Like,
oh yeah.
but yeah. So let's dive into this. Let's start with the music thing. I know you've been in a few bands before. I'm from what I hear, you played some Warp Tours before as well, too, right?
Let's see. I don't know how far we need to go back. I just been playing drums for 20 years or something.
Okay,
So
wow.
quite a lot of bands. The ones that are relevant to this conversation are probably my band from 10 years for Baby Baby, and that
Okay.
was the 2015 Warp Tour. So that was kind of like a pinnacle of my whole music career.
Yeah.
Current bands are Challenger Deep and Better Bloom. So we can talk more about any of that. You just let
Yeah.
me know.
Well, let's start back there. So, what was Warp Tour like? Because as I've always been interested in the festival touring scene, I've heard that Warp Tour is a beast of its own. Is it really hard to get used to, especially when you're not, the biggest name band there? How do you get adjusted to that kind of touring lifestyle, especially when it's something like Warp Tour, as big of an event as that is?
Great question. The answer is it's very achievable in your 20s, which I was at the time. This was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So the way we did it, which isn't a way I recommend, but it was what we decided to on our budget, I suppose, which was we got an RV, we got a driver. So like, yay, right? That should be
Sick.
awesome.
Sick.
The RV though was constantly breaking down, and these were like a lot of these dates. It's the middle of summer, right? So it's
Yeah.
like 90 degree, trying to sleep in an RV with no AC, 90 degrees out. Like,
Crammed up against
Wow.
somebody else.
I mean, I mean that was probably the worst part.
Did you guys do the entire length of that Warp Tour?
Yeah, I think it was
Oh,
2 months. I don't know, something like that.
God.
so living out of RV in 2 months, touring
yeah.
and playing a different
Half-
city, constant threat of breaking down.
Yeah, right. Because it's like it's your home, right? So if it
Yeah.
doesn't have electricity, it's just like you're living in a sweatbox. which is day or night. So half the trip was fine, half the trip was just like, what the fuck? But everyone, I mean, that was kind of our experience, but from the greater scheme, like smaller bands, we were a small band, but there were smaller bands that were like still had like a bandwagon, which was one of those giant professional RVs where like they don't have to worry about that. That's just they're good. I would also often sneak onto our friend's bus just to like catch a nap or just cool down or something.
And like with that, even when you're a smaller band, is there like an awful lot of camaraderie in Warped Tour? Like you kind of are around the other guys all the time, whether it be catering or setting up at the campsite and stuff. Did you get to befriend people you kind of looked up to? Was it more welcoming than you thought, or was it everything you thought it would be, like kind of how you envisioned it before you signed up for it?
Oh, I mean, sheesh. I think it was all brand new because that was an experience like no other because you're out on the road with, I mean, 1,000 people traveling every day.
Yeah.
There's the bands, there's the drivers, there's everyone. There's just so many people. But the thing that really like you kind of bonded most with your stage, so that would be the bands you're playing with, the crew on that stage. Those are the people you saw every single day. So like we didn't know any of them before we started, and by the end we're still friends with most of them today. And
that's really cool, man.
Like we never haven't really seen each other in 10 years, but with the age of the internet, we can still be friends. And I didn't really like, I don't know, we just kind of thinking about stuff I haven't thought about in a while. Like at the time I had this Patrick Starfish, like a little doll, kind of like maybe something that you have. Was it like Love Simpsons?
It's all Simpsons.
Yeah, that's all Simpsons stuff he has. Yeah.
Well, imagine like a little Bart, but a little Patrick. And since I had this like VIP pass, since I was on the tour, I did something called Putting Around with Patty, which is like Twitter back in the day, and
yeah,
could basically like just go to any show, any stage I wanted to, get right up front, and I would just pop him up. I wish I had him right here, but I would just put him in front of the camera, snap a photo, and like so.
So you are a photographer?
I guess so. Yeah, there's some putting around with Patty photos on the internet for sure. Yeah. Hilarious, just goofing around. Like they would give us a 30-pack every day. So like we were really just having a fun time.
Yeah. And then every day the 30-pack lasted shorter and shorter and shorter. Originally it would last all day, then it lasts, 10 hours, then it lasts 5, and then it lasts 1 hour,
Man, was it that much? That sounds insane to say.
I mean, it really doesn't, though. I mean, between how many guys were in your band?
Well, there's 4 plus our merch plus giving them away to the
I mean, so that really doesn't seem that crazy. Yeah.
And in all honesty, me and like 2 of my friends could probably kill a 30-pack in like 2 hours, and that's not bragging, just being completely honest.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was just I mean, it's wild to think we did all of that.
Do you remember who the headliners were that year?
Oh, yeah, there was, let's see, Pierce the Vic.
Headliners, whatever
the bigger
they were
guys, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the bigger bands that got to play later every day.
Yeah. Gosh, put me on trying to rack my after drinking 1,000 beers in 2 months. You kind of forget some stuff, but I remember Pierce the Veil a lot. I remember oh god, they're coming out with a new record right now. I can't think of their name. I just have to pull it up.
Yeah.
I'd have to cheat. I don't mind cheating either. See here, I use ChatGPT constantly.
Oh, dude, ChatGPT is one of my best friends. But
yes,
you think back on times like that, and in all honesty, for people who want to grow up and play music, that's almost an end goal for a lot of people. Getting to be on the Warped Tour, getting to paid in beer, getting to ride around in an RV, play with people you look up to. In all honesty, it doesn't get much better than that for a lot of people. That's a dream of mine. I wish I could have lived that, you know?
Oh, it was for sure. I mean, I've all through high school was Warped Tour, Warped Tour, Warped Tour, and no, it was freaking wild. It was just
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for not even like, I would say probably for a good bit of people who are our age that grew up in the quote unquote scene, like I feel like that's kind of like the pinnacle of everything. Like maybe headlining your own tour, of course, but like playing Warped Tour was essentially you were the shit at like if you were playing Warped Tour, you made it.
And
you
I
know?
honestly do think it was probably a bit more fun to be on Warped Tour as a smaller tier band because, granted, it is a lottery system. You never know what time you're going to play. Some of the big bands play in the middle of the day. But if you're kind of low on the totem pole, you know, we're probably going to play 3 or 4 o'clock the latest. You know, sometimes we'll play at 11 in the morning. But then we just get to fuck off and watch our favorite bands and have fun for the rest of the day. And that right there is. I would prefer to be on Warped Tour as a lower tier band just for that aspect of it, getting to play, get it out of the way, than watching all your friends and all the people you look up to play and joining the festivities. That's got to be a fucking blast all summer long too. That's fucking great.
Oh yeah, you kind of nailed it. The insider baseball to it all was like you would have. I don't know how it is. I know they're like bringing it back, but like 11 to 7, you would get any time slot. They would kind of like rotate it every day, and that didn't matter what band you were. That was just your stage. So you would be a headliner band playing at 11 because they have the headliner stage regardless, right? So,
but you're designated to the stages,
right? You're not changing stages.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Okay.
So. I mean, like the perks of the small band life, I think they're all kind of similar perks, to be honest, because like you're just rotated throughout the day, regardless of what stage you're on. And the only thing that really kind of like, I mean, the bigger stages have bigger crowds, so like we were always jealous of that. But they were probably doing more press and stuff, so like maybe they just had like, oh, and then, I mean, like. If their merch table was like packed or they did a signing or something, like there's a long part of your day gone right there.
Yeah. I remember seeing guys. I used to be one of those guys in line to get things signed at Warped Tour, and I remember just seeing like you get to them and they're just drained and they're giving you the fastest signature, shaking your hand, trying to be nice, but also it's 100 degrees outside. You're on an asphalt parking lot. You just saw 1,000 kids before they got to you. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's a give and take, but yeah, I can understand where that comes from. You want
to know what the biggest lines were? It's hilarious. So 2015. I don't know if they did it before or after, and I only say hilarious because it was so unbeknownst to me. But they had YouTubers that came, and these were, I guess, teenagers. Yeah. And I didn't know any of them, but fuck, did everyone else did. Because these are still teenagers, like basically, early 20s or something coming to I mean, their merch line, they're like, it was hundreds of people long, like longer than any of the bands.
What?
You go talk to somebody.
And what were they doing? Like,
were they
what
like
was their
hosting a stage
role?
or something?
Yeah, like
what were they doing?
They were just there, dude. They were just there.
I think they were just there. I swear,
that's so weird.
I didn't see them. I didn't see them like host anything on a stage or like bring up a band or really like other than just being at the tent signing stuff. You know,
that's so weird.
See, like the old man in me wants to hate on that, but at the same time, when you rationalize it, like everybody's gonna have the way they grew up. Everybody's gonna have their own brand of nostalgia. Everybody's gonna have something that means something to them. But I'm glad that I grew up in the era of Warped Tour. And once again, it's a personalized opinion I have. But I'm glad I grew up in the era of Warped Tour that, had the Monster Energy tents and the fucking half pipes and Rick Thorne would tour with them and do BMX. Like, I'm glad I grew up with that Warped Tour as opposed to the YouTubers signing autographs Warped Tour,
Did y'all were you at like the 04, 08 era?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. I think 04 was I still have a t-shirt from my first Warped Tour, and it was a Casualties t-shirt, and on the back it said World Tour 2004. So that's the only reason I know that 2004 was my first Warped Tour.
I think 02 was my first tour.
Okay.
Nice.
It was either 01 or 02.
And
And I remember it's funny that you were talking about like meeting people at tents, because I think my second year, either my first year or second year, I met Kenny from the starting line. And I remember I was just like, oh my God, just like being whatever I was, like 14, maybe 15 years old or whatever. Yeah. And finally getting to meet this dude whose band I fucking love and still love to this day. But like, literally exactly like you said, like him signing autographs and just fucking sweat.
Well, yeah, the reason I said that is because in 04 was when Coheed played, and they played midday, and I almost had a heat stroke watching them because they played in one of the big stages, and you were just in the hot asphalt the whole time, and everyone was packed. Like the people around me were moving, I wasn't, but you were moving because everyone was moving. But fucking Coheed did a meet and greet. And by the time I got to them, I was getting sped through. I didn't even have enough time to get them to sign anything. I just took a quick picture with Claudio and got the fuck out of there. But yeah, that's what made me say it, because like you have the opportunity to meet your heroes, but you're not really going to meet them. You're getting sped through the fucking line. Like, hey, they might sign something. They might give you a fist bump, but that's it. And they're seeing 1,000 more of you. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of like wrestling meet and greets nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. Do you still have well, first, what kind of camera did you use to get the photo? And then
disposable all the way. Probably a Kodak disposable camera, dude.
Okay, yeah. Way before any kind of phone camera.
This was also
the little wind up joints.
I also did the thing where like they had it at Lakewood, so the big stage at Lakewood was cut in half, and it was 2 separate stages, but it was undercover. So there was a big part of the day where I just stood at that stage and sat through a lot of bands I didn't give a fuck about just to get out of the fucking sunlight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are some of that transcends throughout the U.S. because we would have some shows in amphitheaters and it would be like yay because it was like a break. Or,
yeah, dude.
Like, and some of them weren't. Some of them were just like anywhere. I mean, it was. Like I'm trying to think.
I was gonna ask you, do you remember like one of the craziest places that you had to play?
I just remember the hottest. So like, Florida was obviously muggy, and there was like 4 dates in Florida, so we were there for a while. And there was like 2 or 3 days in Texas, which was just even crazier hot. And I don't remember amphitheater at those. I just remember dying. It's like we actually went because you parked the RV in the morning, like wherever all the fuck the RVs are at. Yeah. And then you kind of go and find your shit where you got to go for the day and yada, yada, yada. One of the Texas dates, the merch booth was, I don't know, let's just say a mile away. And so we were, and like, it's us, right? We don't got one merch guy and that's it. And so
everybody's carrying a bag full of shit.
We're just dragging. And then this other stage was like on the other side of the fucking place. So,
oh God.
Miles of walking in the heat, no shade. I remember like I don't think we sold a single thing that day. So it was really just
all for nothing, dude.
I mean, it was memory, right? The memory counts.
The memory. Did it ever get to the point where you were one of those bands that was just like giving your CD out in the long line, just like here's because there were quite a few bands that did that in my experience.
Yeah, we had fun with it. So I was doing the social media at the time, and just like hooked on it. Especially since like I kind of cracked the code and became friends with the Warped Tour social media manager.
Oh, cool! Hell yeah!
So regardless of what we were doing, I was like getting them involved, and so we were always just trying to have fun and like with those lines. I think it was like 4th of July or something, and the Warped Tour line to get in. So I would play a conch shell. So like if you picture like another SpongeBob reference, didn't he like take a conch and like blow into it and make a noise or whatever?
Yeah,
that was part of the set, part of the band. I would go through the crowd, blow this conch horn, and we would have like one of the guys just tell everyone that like what time we were playing. We just hold up a flag or a sign or something. It was just weird random shit that we would just do to kill time. I'm sure more will come to my brain if we keep going down memory lane.
Did you guys ever get stuck like playing the early like the early time?
I
What is
think
it, like 10 o'clock or whatever?
everybody's eventually going to get stuck playing the 11 o'clock slot because there was a Warped Tour I went to. The last Warped Tour I went to actually, I think was like 2013, 2014 maybe. But I was really into Man Overboard at the time. And I was like, yeah, Man Overboard, they're a bigger band. No way they're going to play first. I park my car. I start walking to the line and I hear them playing. Like I'm missing their set as I'm walking the line because they're the first band of the day. You know what I'm saying? So it happens to everybody.
No, yeah. We I think like to a certain, it didn't really matter too, because if for us anyways, it wasn't like, I mean, there were people coming to see us, but it was really like who was around the area at the time we were playing and could we hook them into the show.
But also back to my original point, I feel like there's certain days or certain times where you're like, man, you know what? I just want to play first today, get it out of the way, and go like have fun today. You know what I mean?
I mean, we were having fun regardless. It was like a 30-minute set or whatever it was, and in and out. I played drums, right? So like, it was backlined. I mean, I showed up, I played.
Hell yeah, dude.
On. So like,
and then somebody just wheels it out of the way for you.
Yeah, if it was at 11, it was like still dope. Even like 11, 12, or 7, they were all like good slots. Well, let me take that back. The 11 was good because these kids were there early. Like they were already in line at like 9 a.m. So fantastic. I was waking up at 10:30. I was headed out and I'm playing at 11. So the 7 though, if you're a small band playing at 7, fuck that. Those guys are over watching. I pulled up the band some earlier so we can do a little. So there is August Burns Red. We came as Rome, Tilla, Neck Deep. Man Overboard. What do you know? The Wonder Years, Beartooth. Like they're over there seeing them. So if we had the clock one, fat chance. I think there was we had the people in the amphitheater cooling down just to get out of the shade or get in the shade. We were.
Now, is there truth to the, I guess, the urban legend or the folklore of there? I've always been told that if you go out on Warped Tour and you hang out with the big crowd of people, you know, the other bands and stuff, and you happen to just show your ass and be a drunk asshole, you can guarantee you're playing at 11 o'clock the next day.
Ooh, you know, I mean, there is some folklore that you don't piss off Kevin was the main thing. And by that, I mean, there's quite a few levels to that.
Yeah.
2015 and prior years and post years. Like, I might be speculating here, but, you know, there's a lot of fucking underage shit going on with the guys being older, the girls being younger, and that did not fly. And you would probably get kicked off. Like, I can't recall. I think like maybe like bands got like kicked off that show or two or something, but
I've read about it, and I'm not gonna name any names. I've read who you're talking about, and I mean, in all honesty, Kevin Lyman seems like a pretty good guy. I don't know him personally. He seems fucking dope, and I feel like if you do something to him to cross the line, then you've really fucked up because he seems like a really good judge of character.
No, he was great. They did like weekly like come together, like just we'll talk about how the week's going kind of stuff, and that thing came up a couple times at least. And no, it was always
like he would bring that up.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. Like he was fucking not happy about it, to say that.
That's awesome.
He was like ready. I'm surprised it went on, kept going year after year after year, or maybe it got better. But at the 2015, I just remember one time being like, "Oh man, this guy's about to pull the plug," because he was just so over it. And I was like, "I get it. That's fucked up."
Yeah.
But you know what? You need people like him in the music scene to stand up and do the right thing like that. Like, yo, this shit's not fucking cool. Cut it out. You're not gonna make money off of my shit anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Especially something like Warped Tour, because there was a point where like I do feel like Warped Tour kind of like had a reputation of that.
It did.
Not for being like, oh, like it's like a predator playground kind of shit, but like, you know, there was the rumors of these bands, and I feel like I'm not gonna talk shit about anybody personally, but like I feel like there was like a point, you know, in our scene where that was kind of a thing.
Well,
like as shitty as it is,
I don't feel like that.
I,
That's not Warped Tour. That's not just singularly Warped Tour though, because
no,
I
grew
I
up
meant
in the
like
scene
everywhere.
too, and
like I started going to shows when I was. I honestly think my first show I was 11, turning 12, and then 12, 13, into the metal scene, into the hardcore scene and stuff. Going to shows where I was the young guy and I was young and I was impressionable and. It's very easy to get taken advantage of and deceived when you're that young. It's easy to get preyed upon. So I mean, especially when you're in a touring circuit like that, because when I was at Warped Tour, I was 13, 14 years old. I look around, what do I see? A sea of 13 and 14-year-olds. So, like, anybody can take advantage of that situation if they want to, if they're that, devious of a person. So, I don't think it's Warped Tour specifically, but I definitely think it may have had more incidents than others. But that's why I'm saying it takes somebody like Kevin Lyman to step up and be like, hey, we're not going to have this shit anymore.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. Obviously, the first, I don't even know if, I mean, fuck it. Like, they're all the brand new, going on right now, which I think.
Yeah, that's just
very,
dead
like,
and gone.
it's just,
And what sucks about brand new is like I'll tell you this, like there's albums by brand new, 2 specific albums by brand new that mean the absolute world to me, and I heard them at the right place in the right time. And I know a lot of people try to separate things and be like, oh well, you got to separate the art from the artist and stuff, but I can't. I just fucking can't. Because now when I listen to brand new, all I think about is that. Like it's tarnished it for me. Like I can't separate brand new's music from Jesse Lacey as a person, and I hate it. If you can listen to those music and it still does for you what that did, and you can not think about the person he is, cool. I can't, and that hurts me so much because like there was a time in my life where I needed that fucking music. And every now and then I need to hear it again, but I can't listen to it without thinking about what the reality of the situation is. And that fucking sucks, dude.
Couldn't agree more. God, my brain's flopping all over the place. Just around because I'll just jump onto this subject about the other breaking story about Finn McKenzie. Did you hear about that one?
No, what happened?
Pretty sure I said his name right. His channel is called like Punk Rock NBA. It's like a YouTube.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you know about it?
No, but I know the channel.
Well, it's not a similar thing about like underage girls or whatever, but it was just going down nostalgia lane. Like I would follow his YouTube channel. He would always like do deep dives on bands.
Yeah.
Very fucking cool. I liked it. He came out like recently, and I say recently, I mean like this year. And I guess it's only relevant if you're like familiar with his work, but he was basically lying the whole time. He came out on a podcast and said like, I was just doing this YouTube series for the money.
Oh no.
Don't talk about any of these bands, any of these music. I just made it all up for cash. And it was like a mind-blowing.
That's terrible, dude.
So all those deep dives and everything literally just meant shit.
I mean, his words, not mine. Yeah, he
wow.
Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I made my cut, made my cheese, and now I'm done. And it was just like you think you know somebody, but you don't.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Weird. Just
what
a
an
weird
asshole
right there. But
So now, moving on from Baby and Warped Tour.
Sure.
Let's talk about life after that. Let's talk about the bands you play in now. And you've started how many businesses of your own now?
Well, if you count like a band's a business, so I would call it 4 businesses.
Okay, cool.
A Grandland Lawn, so landscaping. I started that the year after Warped Tour. I was just burnt out, and I was like, what do I do? Like, it was just that time where it was just like, I got to do something adult. Mm-hmm. So landscaping was the answer. Certainly paid off. So I'm stoked.
Is that something you had prior experience with? Like, was that ever a teenage summer job for you?
Yeah, I mean, mowing my parents' yard, but no, it was just like, I mean, there's another story to, I don't know, before we want to go down, it's baby related in case that's of any.
Well, let's backtrack to baby, and let's.
I'll give you this short story. It makes me laugh. I don't know if it's gonna make anyone else laugh, but we played it was like post Warped Tour. Played a show in Charleston. I was just exhausted just from, I don't know, life, touring, etc., not having money, all the above. And after
Yeah,
the show,
that becomes exhausting. Yes.
yeah. And then just after the show, I just had this very clear, vivid memory. Like I could remember it yesterday. Was just like, what if I pushed a mower around? I would get exercise. I would, make money potentially. At the time when I started the company, whatever, it was me. I didn't even have a price. I would say, pay me what you want. Some customers are like,
here's $15 and a case of beer, dude.
Like, what does that mean? Give me a number. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
People get frustrated with that. Like, pay me what you think is fair. Well, I don't fucking know. Just tell me $1,000. Well, here's 20. All right, cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, it's just like one of those things where that changed my life. Just that, like, it was a good show. It wasn't a mind blowing show. It was just another, we played 1,000 shows at that point. So it was just like, it was just that time where I was just like, I want to exercise. And I thought pushing them over would do it. So that led me to that landscaping. And then when Gus was born, my son, that led me to recycling. And we do monthly recycling pickups for like hard to recycle materials.
Okay, cool. What qualifies as a hard to recycle material?
Let's see. It's kind of like there's a lot. It's like stuff you can't throw in your blue bin, basically. So
okay.
In Atlanta, you can put a handful of things in there, like milk cartons or cardboard or paper or
but
glass.
I couldn't put like a pair of shoes or something like that in there.
Well, shoes would be more of like a donated item, although technically that is hard to recycle.
Yeah. I see shoes getting made with recycled materials, so why not recycle a shoe?
Yeah, so think of it more like different types of plastics, right? So the city only takes some, but we'll take more. Or like metals, like we can take metals that are, I mean, really the shortest, quickest answer is like, do you want peace of mind that your stuff is actually getting recycled? Because we hand sort through it all. And especially when it comes to glass, like glass breaks, it's gonna have a hard time getting recycled if you do the single stream. And with us, we separate it and we take it straight to the glass recycling facility. So we're just trying to do it. I mean, like we operate on a small scale. Like we can't do thousands of neighbors, but we can, for the people that are interested, we can sort it out. We can make sure it goes to the right location. And that's kind of the catalyst. That's kind of the short story there, other than the whole premise got started because of Gus, my son. That's just like, I'm a climate change, believer. And I think recycling is a very small way to kind of combat that. And
what's the name of that company?
Peace of Mind Recycling.
Yeah. Shout out Peace of Mind Recycling.
There's one other business. However, do I keep going?
Well,
yeah,
before that, let's do a small little deep dive right here, because I believe in climate change very, very wholeheartedly. However, do you think that there is enough this generation can do to stop it or immensely slow down the curve, or are we just fucked?
Well, I mean, that's kind of it's too hard to say, because with Trump back in office, it's like his 4 years could be like 40 years of irreversible damage. It's like, who knows what bad shit's going to come from this. But my mindset is it's better to just do it. And like, I can just say, hey, I tried.
Yeah.
It's like the smallest thing, right? It's like, it's
I agree.
It takes very little effort to recycle.
I mean, it does, right? But it's like, it's kind of like an education thing too. Like if I went on, I was lucky to go on our local NPR station and just kind of spread the gospel of recycling. So like just get the word out that way is nice. We actually went to a school recently. My partner, Mark, his son is in third grade. So we got to talk to 100 third graders, and they were very like, some of them are very like they knew shit that I didn't know, and I was just like, whoa, this is
Wow.
I was really
As a third grader.
Yeah, that's
some
beautiful.
of them are like, what's recycling, but it's it was still I was still like pleasantly surprised.
That's awesome. That's also pretty rad. Like that. Obviously, their parents give a shit to have their kids educated in that kind of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that their kids
I mean,
actually
that at
do
that
give a
young
shit.
of an age, it's definitely a representation of parenting because like your mind is still so formative with that, and and my son's 9 years old. He just finished third grade, so he does have his own interests and stuff. But I see more of a reflection of me and my wife and him than anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess I gave you somewhat of an answer.
No, I mean, because the thing is, you really can't answer because only time will tell. And fortunately and unfortunately, it's a double-edged sword. Like by the time the end all be all does come, if it just comes from global warming, I'll be long gone. But even in my lifetime, I will see gradual effects of it that are going to drastically change my standards and comforts of living.
Yeah, I mean, it's not us that I'm worried about. It's them. So it's
That's what I tell people all the time. Like, I'm gonna be fine. My kids are probably gonna be okay. Their kids are gonna be a little but their kids, they're fucking doomed.
I don't know, man. It could be worse than you think. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
My kid's only 2.
I-
But when the time he's 50, I'm like, what world are you gonna live in, bro?
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
I agree.
It could be. It just could be bad shit.
Yeah.
I agree.
But all right, moving on.
We need a little doom and gloom with.
No, it's okay. We can doom and gloom all day if that's.
yeah.
I mean, I live in America. I'm doom and gloom all the time. But anyways, but yeah, moving on to the last one.
Okay, so that's called the Southern Schmooze. It is short story. Again, I like to keep things concise. Started it. First and foremost, it's like a Facebook group, which doesn't sound like a business, which it wasn't. So I'm excited to reveal that at the end. But for 5 years, I started in the pandemic. I just saw a bunch of people at home just asking questions on Facebook, like who can I hire for a contractor? Who can I get for a roofer, a plumber, a landscaper? Like 1,000 different things. And I was like, well, I'm here, I'm home. I'm just gonna make something that people can go there at one spot, right?
Right.
And, I don't know. I never had any anticipation that it would do anything. So flash forward 5 years later, there's like I think they were at like 13,000 members. There's been somewhere around like a couple 100,000 posts, comments, etc. And it's given people full-time jobs. It's generated.
Just real quick, shout out Southern Schmooze. Anybody listening to this, go check it out. If you are ever looking for work, if you're looking for anything in particular, my wife is an avid spokesperson for the Southern Schmooze. You guys need to check it out. Seriously, if there's ever anything that you could possibly need for any type of work, anything you could possibly need almost in reality, seriously.
Any type.
Whoa. Let's not get weird with it. But I'm saying, like, Southern Schmooze has helped my family significantly. So thank you for that, because of the people that we have connected with and the people that we have met from the Southern Schmooze. So I just want to say thank you for creating what you have created, because me and my wife are very big spokespeople for the Southern Schmooze.
Damn. Hell yeah. That's the crazy shit to hear. Just like an idea I had, and I was like, let's see what happens, right? And but yeah, to present day, as of a few months ago, I turned into a small business, which is pretty cool, because it's not really raised any red flags either. Like, it's some people, some haters, let's just say that way, are like kind of looked at it as a pay to play mentality, where
fuck
like
them.
it isn't. Like, I made it really, really cheap if you want to be I call it a schmooze certified vendor, because I thought it sounded fun. And basically that just means like you work in Atlanta, you do good work. So cool.
Yeah.
And it's, it's pretty darn cheap, like 25 a month. And you're supporting me by supporting, it's like small businesses supporting a small business. So like it kind of like feeds, it's all circular sort of. And and honestly, like you land one lead on the group, which is like really freaking easy. It pays for your whole year of your membership. So like it really like it just I didn't know if it was gonna work. And then sure enough, like I think I'm in month number 4 now. We had like 70 members sign up. So
hell yeah, dude.
I'm really ecstatic.
Congrats,
Thank you,
man.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. So that's okay. That's there. Now we're done. Oh wait, one more band.
Yeah, you got one more band.
Well, yeah,
and then after this, I have a question for you. So,
so the last business is Challenger Deep, which we started as a band, which a band's not a business out the beginning, right? You're just playing music for fun. We're on year like 7 or 8 or something, but somewhere in the middle it became a business. And the guys, I like to stay home, be dad mode these days, but they still tour, so they're sell merch. They we got our 3rd album coming out, and it's a business. So that's the short end of the story there.
Hell yeah. When's the new album coming out?
August.
Sometime in August.
All right. Yeah. Well, hey, everybody be on the lookout for the new album in August.
Speaking of music, while I have you, before we let you go, I did go to your website today, and at the bottom of it, you can click on a link to a website that you made when you were 14 years old.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
So I pulled it up on my phone right here. So the headline of this says, "Below are the best bands ever heard of, though many of them you haven't heard of." So
very work-for-us.
What I'm going to do here is I'm going to mention some of these bands, and I'm going to ask you if you still listen to them and what they mean to you, and if you still consider them one of the best bands ever.
No. The answer is no.
No. No, let's get started. Let's start with right here, one of my favorite bands, Something Corporate.
Oh my God! Fuck yeah! All right, sorry. The answer is yes, but that's. I feel like we're gonna hit some duds. So I mean, out the gate, that's. They were like my second.
Well, it's like the 4th band listed here, so I know that they had to have been a top tier.
Yeah, man. What a leaving through the window. Good Lord.
Cool.
Yeah, amazing, incredible album. North was even better than that, if you can even be better than that. It was a better record. It was. You can be. It's okay to be wrong sometimes, Ian. It's fine. All right, let's have another one here. Let's try. Let's see here. We talk about this band several times on this podcast. MXPX.
Oh wow. Yes, I was listening to them the other day. Slowly moving way of the buffalo is my favorite, but they have so many records.
Yeah,
and they're still releasing music. They just put out some music videos. Like, man, good for them. I'm old, but they're.
Dude, it's funny you mentioned that album, because that was like, I think that was actually the first MXPX CD I ever bought. Was Slowly Going the Way of the Buffalo.
That is their most underrated album, and it might be their best album, dude. Completely honest, it might be. Every now and then, still to this day, it's been probably 25 years since I heard it the first time, but the riff to I'm Okay, You're Okay, the opening riff gets stuck in my head all the fucking time, consistently.
Just that song in general.
Yeah, like, great fucking song.
I'm okay, you're okay.
Oh, here's a deep dive one. This was a Solid State band back in the day, Dead Poetic.
Oh, I did see it live. Man, yeah, no, have not listened to that record in years, but rings a bell real hard. And God, Tooth and Nail, right? Yeah,
Tooth and Nail. I don't know if it was Tooth and Nail or Solid State. All right,
either way, the same thing.
There's a few on here that go without saying are forever going to be great bands. You got the Early November, you got the Get Up Kids, you got Thursday, you got Thrice, but one that sticks out to me that I'm glad is on here is Me Without You, one of the greatest fucking Tooth and Nail bands of all time.
All right, well, I got a little story. Okay. I mentioned I have another band. It's brand new. It's only been like a few months, maybe half a year or something. We've only played 2 shows. It's based off of Me Without You lyric. So we went.
Oh, okay, wow.
Called it Better Bloom. So
Nice.
I mean, cool, right? Like high school to almost 40.
I feel like one
Yeah.
thing I really loved about Me Without You is like their sound kind of evolved as my music taste was evolving. And then when I got to Brother Sister, it was the pinnacle of what I needed to hear at that time. You know, of course, A to B Life and Catch Restless Foxes, great albums, but I feel like as I was going on in my journey of music and finding new music, they were kind of representing the sound of what I was going through. It was very interesting, and I always really appreciated it. It was awesome to, you know, experience Me Without You on the fucking trajectory that they took and how their sound changed and how they still stayed true and how their live shows still were chaotic and amazing all at the same time. I fucking love that band.
Yeah. That's cool.
So one or two more before we get out of here. Let's talk about.
But I have to ask, because I hear a kind of common thing in here. Were you a pretty big Drive-Thru fan?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a band I didn't like on Drive-Thru.
Same.
There's even the other day there's a Facebook group for punk rock drummers. I was like, I'll check it out. And then just all of a sudden, all these Drive-Thru drummers started showing up in the group. So like the homegrown drummer popped in there and said, "What's up?" And
no way.
Yeah, there's a few more I can't think.
Dude, I remember the one homegrown video that they did at like the drive-in diner thing. I always thought that was the coolest fucking music video ever. Like I was always just like, man, that's like such good energy in a music video, and the way they did it, like it just seemed like it was like such a cool thing to even be a part of making that music video. Fucking loved that homegrown album. What was it? King of Pop? Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, with the gold teeth and shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we got one right here. Further Seems Forever. And let me ask you, The Moon is Down or How to Start a Fire?
How to Start a Fire.
Fuck yeah. Thank you. Yes. I'm the only one I know that fucking says that. And people yell at me. They're like, no, The Moon is Down. I was like, The Moon is Down is the Dashboard record. It's not a fucking Further Seems Forever record.
Also, my AIM screen name was How to Start a Fire.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Nice.
And the thing is, I love The Moon is Down. But the thing is, if you want to listen to that era of Further Seems Forever, listen to Dashboard Confessional, because How to Start a Fire sounds like how the band actually should have sounded, in my opinion. You know,
or definitely how they progressed after that.
But the thing is, you can put on The Moon is Down to somebody that's never heard it, and they're gonna think it's just that, and maybe it's because of Chris Carrabba, but you're gonna think it's a Dashboard album.
Have you listened to the Further Seems Forever album that they did a few years ago with Chris Carrabba?
I have not.
Whoa.
Fucking amazing. To anybody listening,
I
to both
didn't even know it existed
as well. It is fucking great.
Because I know that they did a Moon is Down like anniversary tour or re-recording, but I didn't know that they did a new album with Chris Carrabba.
They did a whole new album.
Awesome.
And I mean, it's very, very Moon is Down, like kind of sound-ish, but you can still tell that the dudes from Further Seems Forever did the majority of the writing.
I'm not taking anything away from Chris Carrabba. I love Chris Carrabba. I love Dashboard Confessional. But I feel like How to Start a Fire was just a punch in the gut, and it just sounded fucking amazing the first time I heard it. It was so much fun, dude. So much fun. And I got one more for you, because this is a band I love that a lot of people give me shit for, but it's on your list, and that's Midtown.
Oh, why would anyone give you shit for Midtown?
You know, some people just don't understand good music when they hear it.
I mean, they're just in the Drive-Thru, records. Like, all of them are approved as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
I remember I saw Midtown. I think, who was it? It was Midtown, Blink-182, and Newfound Glory.
Yeah, Whoa. Yeah. And I will say, Midtown did go through a very big sound change. Their first album to what is that album with Empty Like the Ocean on it? God, that song fucking rules so hard. But yeah,
I think was that the third album?
That might have been the third album, but the evolution they had from the first album to the third, I can understand why some people fell off because, but I don't know.
I did.
You did? You fell off?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like when artists, continually change and, find themselves and go as new directions, because the same thing over and over just gets stale to me. So I love it when artists, push boundaries, find new genres, as long as it works. And as long as your live shows stay consistent and you play the bangers that everyone wants to hear, that's all I really ask of you. As long as the new albums don't suck. I don't care what direction you're going into. As long as it's not dog shit and your live shows are still good, you're fine with me, you know?
Fair.
But yeah, man. So I really appreciate you joining us tonight. That was a lot of fun. We're going to let you out of here. Is there anything you want to plug before you get out of here where everyone can find you, look up your businesses, maybe in the future get a photo taken by you?
Oh, wow. I did take some good photos. Yeah, I gotta show you my background real quick before we go. Will it work? I took a photo of my boy at the beach. Here, I'll turn up the brightness. It'll pop through here. Was he?
Oh, dude, that's a great photo.
Yeah, you're a photographer.
Man, it looks a little scary.
It's okay.
There
you
he
can tell
is.
it's a
There
good
he
photo.
is. That's
Yeah.
great,
There he
dude.
is.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
He's just straight chilling, dude.
Yeah, it's not a bad photo, right?
Dude,
That's like
he's
the
beaching
that's
the
like
fuck out of
definition
that.
of the beach.
Yeah.
Dude. Like yes.
All right, thegrantwallace.com. I stole
Okay.
it. I stole the URL idea from Matt Goldman. If you're a fan of his work,
So our
we-
producer is homies with Matt Goldman.
who's
Yeah.
your producer?
Tyler Washburn.
Nate
that
has a brother, Nate Washburn.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Washburn.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Washburns.
the Washburns.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I know
You know,
them.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think Nate actually just did Becoming the Archetype record last year or something like that. He still works in the music industry.
Wow. Hell.
Yeah, we are going to have Nate on soon, and then we are actually trying to get Matt Goldman to do an episode as well.
Yeah.
Well, tell him I stole his URL idea because he's themattgoldman.com, and I said, you know what? I'll be the Grant Wallace. I even changed my fucking Instagram to it. So
Nice. Hell yeah.
yeah. There's a whole nother. I got another hour or two to go down all of those memory lanes. Another time, maybe we can catch up in a year or something.
Dude, absolutely.
Yeah, this was fucking fun. Congrats on y'all's podcast. It seems like a really kind of cool, loose premise, and it works. So,
Oh, yeah, dude.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Love
just
it. We're
kind of
having a
having
great time
fun
doing
getting
it.
to know people.
Let me know when it comes out. I'll share it around.
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
All right. Like I said, that was a great interview. And
Amazing interview.
and is Grant a photographer? You be the judge. You tell me what
Yeah.
you think.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it up to your imagination whether you not believe he is a photographer.
I think he's
or
a
not.
photographer.
makes it-
He talked
I
about
mean,
taking
dude,
pictures. What
not
makes
just
you a
that, but he
photographer?
makes it-
Does it make you the camera or the fact that you fucking take the time to do photography? I think that's what I
and
think
not
he's a
to
fucking
mention, like,
photographer.
if you look at his content online, he's shooting all that himself. So I would
Okay.
consider him. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Just because
Grant,
you're taking
you are a photographer.
Just because you're taking pictures of your work after you're finished doesn't mean you're not a photographer. A lot of people
Hey.
pay people money to take those pictures. You're doing it for free, so maybe you should be a photographer. Anyways,
But yeah. Go ahead.
we do have some fun things coming up. I'm going to start doing some fun things on our social media. I have Spotify. Ian has Apple Music. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make Spotify playlists. There's going to be an official this, that, and the other Spotify playlist coming out. It's going to compile music artists that we've had on here, as well as some of our top 10 songs and all that stuff. And we'll also do a Joey playlist and an Ian playlist that we will periodically update. So you guys can see what we're into, see what we're listening to, and all that fun shit. Other than that, you got anything, Ian?
Yeah, besides being pretty hyped for that, letting people know that, like, yes, we've talked about top 10s and stuff like that, but I'm pretty excited to, like, actually be able to, like, kind of spread the music that we listen to and just let people into, like, I don't want to say our world, but, like, letting people listen to what we listen to and get a vibe of, like, what we've been listening to,
Oh yeah,
what
dude.
we're digging.
Sharing music
you know?
with people is one of my favorite things to do.
Oh, dude, you've always been, and I even texted you this, like, you have pretty much always been the playlist king. Like, even with, like, mix CDs back in the day, like, you made fire mix CDs back in the day. So I'm pretty hyped for it. I think our playlists are going to be pretty rad. So everybody tune in, get ready for it.
Yeah, it's going to come soon because I'm going to have to dedicate a day where I can just get hyper. Because once I start, I'm not going to stop until I fucking feel like it's finished. So I got to sit down and get hyper focused on it. So it'll probably maybe this coming up weekend if I find the time.
You got to get hyper focused.
Yeah, dude. To be honest, all right. This is a side note. I haven't done that in probably about 3 or 4 weeks now, and it's to the point where it's like it's not like I'm never gonna do it again. It's just not a part of my life right now anymore, which is something I never thought I'd say. But it's just like it takes a lot of effort, man. Like I go to work, I come home, I spend time with my kids. I don't have the effort to go out and find it and then try to hide it and then sneak around and wait till they go to sleep and everything. Like I love all that shit. Trust me. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm a full believer that every usage of it should be 1000% legal. And I feel like if you have a job that doesn't tell you can't do it, you should absolutely enjoy it. But at the same time, I think it's something you kind of more or less grow out of when you get older. Yeah. And I think I've just kind of grown out of it.
Well, and also, I don't know if I'm pretty sure I have told you this, as I tell you pretty much everything. I am a little bit over 2 weeks sober now. I haven't smoked weed. I don't drink at all, ladies and gentlemen, for anybody listening.
Not only did you tell me, you told the podcast this last week.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I am now whatever days past that. So I'm still sober. I'm still doing my thing. I'm not saying I'm not going to.
It was kind of funny when
anybody wants to smoke some weed.
It was really funny. Me and Mark talked about it. Earlier this week. And we thought it was so funny when you were like, yeah, no drinking, no smoking. And me and Mark were like, he doesn't even fucking drink. Like,
I don't drink to begin with.
He doesn't drink to begin with. So that one was easy.
Yeah, I was talking to a coworker earlier and they were like, well, do you drink? And I'm like, no, I mean, honestly, I can't remember the last time I've had alcohol. Like, I honestly, like, I really don't. It was probably at a junior's Christmas party, maybe was the last time I drank.
And then
I don't
also
know,
when you drink, you'll drink like a drink or 2 or 3 shots, and then that's it. Like that's all you'll have throughout the whole night.
Because my anxiety starts fucking going, and I hate it. So like, therefore, I just don't do it. So
that's weird. Drinking's never given me anxiety. It gives me the exact opposite. Like every time drinking, like I understand that it's a depressant or whatever, but for me, it's always like hyped me up. Like I'll start drinking and then I'm up to like 4 in the fucking morning. I don't know what it is.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing with weed with some people too. Like, you know, like my wife can't smoke weed. She gets extremely paranoid and all that kind of shit. Yeah. But like me, on the other hand, I love smoking weed. I just thought I needed a little break. I'm going to take a little head break, take a little mental break.
It's kind of like, it's the decision making that comes with drinking that I don't necessarily like. Prime example, like when I'm drunk, nothing sounds like a bad idea. You know what I'm saying? Let's drive to fucking McDonald's right now. I was like, fuck yeah, give me those keys. When I'm stoned, it's like, nah, dude, I'm not leaving this couch. Like, I don't give a fuck. If there's a tornado, I'm staying right the fuck here. Like, no, I'm not leaving at all. So it's kind of weird how those things have like the polar opposite effects, at least on me. I don't know. Everybody's body is different. So,
yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where like, I think that's also a part of why I don't drink as well, because of all the bullshit that comes with it, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I always made stupid ass decisions whenever I would drink, because I was the same way. I was like, yeah, let's fucking drink and let's rage and let's fuck it, I'll do whatever, it doesn't matter, you know? Yeah. But I was never like a shitty drunk. Like all of our friends who I've drank with and been drunk with can tell you, like, I'm not an angry drunk. I'm a happy drunk.
You've always been more of the like, all right, I'm drunk, I'm going to bed type drunk. You know what I'm saying?
That too. Yeah. Either like I get drunk and I want to go to sleep, or I just want to hug all over you and have fun and do sing-alongs and go do stupid shit.
Yeah.
So like,
which is fun. I mean, there's a time and place for that, but
there is. You know, I mean, there definitely is. For sure, there is. And I think there just hasn't, like you say.
You know what I don't like though? You know what I don't like, and I'll never like, and it always makes me uncomfortable. And I will wholeheartedly admit, because people who listen have drank with me before, it's rare when this comes out of me. But what makes me so uncomfortable is the emotional drunk that just brings up all their baggage and all the shit that's happened to them and all the shit you've been through, and you're my best friend in the entire fucking world and all that shit.
For sure.
Like the emotional crier drunk. Man, yeah. I've been it a few times. Admittedly, I have. I've been it a few times, but it's so cringy when you're that person. And that's like now I've seen myself in like drinking situations where as soon as I see somebody turning into that, I stay the fuck away. I keep them 10 miles away from me because
I agree.
I can't do it. I
feel like that's like a very,
and if you're that drinker,
kind of sobering moment.
No, if you're that drinker, work on that. I'm not telling you not to drink. I'm telling you, like, work on that aspect of your drinking, because nobody likes the crying drunk person.
Yeah, man or woman or person, and or
trust
whatever.
Me, like, those people that are consoling you, they just got stuck. They got stuck. That's all it is.
Yep.
They don't want to be there.
Suckered
They
in.
don't want to be there rubbing your back, hearing your whole life story. They got stuck, and they are patiently waiting for their exit. That's all the fucks that's going on.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, definitely. But because we kind of derailed for a little bit, thank you everybody for listening. As always, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you everybody for taking your time out of the day to take the time to listen to me and Joey ramble on about stupid shit. Thank you so much to Grant for sitting down with us and giving us the opportunity to interview you about all the random stuff that we talked about, talking about Warped Tour, talking about music, talking about your businesses, talking about everything in life. Thank you so much for that. If you want to check out Grant on Instagram, it's at the Grant Wallace. The bands that he is in are Challenger Deep and Better Bloom. Be sure to check them out. They are both on Instagram. It's at Challenger Deep and at Better Bloom Band. Also, check out the Southern Smooths for all your needs, I will say. Whether you need some handyman work, whether you need your lawn mowed, whatever you might need help with around the house, and just in general, hit up the Southern Smooths, check it out, check out the people on there. Also check out his other business, Peace of Mind Recycling, for all your hard to recycle needs, I guess would be the proper term for that. And also check out Grant Lana Lawns is his lawn care, which also kind of ties into the Southern Smooths. So be sure to check out Grant. Phenomenal dude. Amazing interview.
And also shout out to all local Metro Atlanta businesses that are locally owned and operate and work their fucking ass off. We see you. We'll showcase you. We'll get that. There's so many people that are on the tip of my tongue right now, but it would take me about 10 minutes to, list off. It's coming. Yep. And I hope that we get you some more traction if we can at all, because everybody who's doing their own thing, sticking it to the men, making their own money, holding it down, providing for their community and their people, do your thing.
And support these people. Do not support the big man. Support the man or women or whatever that is trying to do it on their own. And what people need to understand,
like, everything you're into, like, you're into vintage clothes, you're into new clothes, you can shop that locally. You like electronics, you like video games, you can shop that locally. You like comic books, you like records, you can shop that locally. You're hungry, you can shop that locally. You can find every fucking thing you need, down to your Nikes, down to your name brand clothes, down to your records, down to the food you eat. You can find all that locally. It takes some effort, but it's well worth it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, thank you everybody for listening. This is This, That, and the Other. Be sure to check us out on YouTube at This, That, and the Other with Joey and Ian. Again, that's This, That, and the Other with Joey and Ian. Check us out on all streaming platforms, This, That, and the Other with Joey and Ian. Make sure you search for This, That, and the Other with Joey and Ian. On Instagram, we are TTATO Podcast ATL. Again, that's TTATO Podcast ATL. Thank you again, everybody. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Peace. All right, I'm going to get back to WWE 2K25.